So we've realized that there is no data exists. There is no. It was more a theoretical thing was available on multiple platforms. That's one of the reason that we decided to get on the ground and get that first-hand experience and understand how the real ecosystem works. It was always a dream for a recycle team to get that kind of recognition, because we have seen the days where people were not taking us seriously, rejecting us, and that it always has that power of rejection. We always decided to fight back. Recyclers are not having the visibility. There is no traceability, no transparency from where they can source the material for the recycling. For these recyclers are nothing but a big factories, and for them waste is a raw material. In last 1 year, we moved from 150 to 325 in just less than 6 months, because that's kind of business growth we have achieved.
So we're back with yet another episode of Vision Board. And in this series, we are covering the green heroes of India, the business leader, innovator, and the entrepreneur, those who are working in the sustainability space. And today we are very proud to have Mr. Abhishek Deshpande, co-founder of circular economy marketplace called Recykal. So welcome, Abhishek, on Vision Board.
Hey, thanks. Pleasure to be here.
So Abhishek, my first question is that because when I was going through your profile, that I think this common question everyone asks you this question that you started your career with hotel industry, and then you are into this industry, which is very few because it's very easy to get into those, SaaS, and because this is like jazzy word, but sustainability, e-waste. So how this thought came to your mind?
Yeah, so this is very common question because hospitality to sustainability is like a very different move, right? Even never thought of, like, I started my career as a hospitality professional, or very specific. Like, I started as a bartender, making the cocktails, and then doing all this is completely different thing, right? So started career as a bartender, worked with major global chains like Carlson Hotels or Echo Hotels. For me, sustainability, I never heard about a sustainability, very frank, very transparent. For me, like, doing my business, running the hotels, building the hotels, I was a pre-opening team expert for the both of these global chains. Fortunate to get that opportunity. Very few people understand how hotels are built, and then it's a very small team who gets into the hotels when hotel is under the construction, and their job is to build those hotels, whatever luxury hotels you see. The pre-opening team who builds those hotels and get that standardization of the hotel, and then they run a hotel for next couple of years, just make sure that all the standardization is maintained. So that was my always life for like 8 to 10 years. And after some time, it was very, very monotonous because I was doing the same thing, only the city was changing. Even the brand is the same. So there was nothing new for me to do. So I was looking for some interesting stuff. But it was a time after 2010, even these brands being global, they started talking about sustainability inside the organizations, for the guest, for the employees. That's the introduction for me to the sustainability world. 2014-15, I become a part of ICOR sustainability program, which is a Planet 21. So before that, I was not having any understanding of the sustainability. So even I just heard that word, but not knowing what exactly it is. Even though ICOR, it was not very clearly defined, they are also trying to understand, trying to do some initiatives. That's the introduction happened. But my journey started after that because it was more related to the West. There was only one thing which is always with me was a water bottle. I was mixing that into the cocktails or collecting in the banquet events or some other thing, restaurants, doesn't matter. I was a food and beverage guy. I never thought that bottle is going to change my life or I'm going to do something big with that bottle. So realize when I looked at as a waste, I started looking for opportunities. Frankly speaking, I wanted to do something of my own. In 2015, I felt enough of building the hotels. Let's do something on own. Good thing happened. There's digital penetration started happening. Geo was coming into the market. Mobile usage was increased. Uh, Made some framework for myself that if I have to do something, it has to be tech based, digital based, because that's the new opportunity I have seen. And same time, the framework was like I wanted to do something for the masses. Found the waste management is the decade old problem. Nobody has solved that problem on the scale. I always say that rather the waste is a topic or the thing where from whenever human existence started, waste has started generating. But nobody has looked at that problem with the innovative way or never taken some different approach to solve that problem. So I felt that this is a difficult problem and it has a bigger impact and it is a need of the hour. The second thing I have noticed is that it doesn't matter what financial background you're coming from. If you are a if you're a billionaire or a driver of that billionaire businessman, everyone is directly or indirectly involved in this waste management ecosystem. So I felt that this is a good opportunity, a good problem to solve, and let's use the digital technology to solve this problem. And that's where I started figuring out what is the waste management, how waste management works in the country, why nobody is able to build the scalable opportunity or a company out of this problem, or why nobody is able to solve this problem on a scale. I realized early days of my research. So frankly speaking, I just registered company in 2015-16 without knowing what I'm going to do. uh, I just was chasing that waste management as a word and was started doing the research that what are the opportunities, what are the pain points, who are the stakeholders. Frankly speaking, we all know waste till our garbage bin at your home. We're really not aware how the waste flows once it is out of our house or homes, right? So, or community. Started studying that till the complete supply chain where it gets over, and found that it's a complete broken supply chain. There is no visibility, no traceability, no transparency. And when problem is a big, obviously there is a big opportunity. So that was the early realization of the opportunity, but not knowing that where it is going to go. Started with B2C solution and realized that, and like it happens with every entrepreneur, right? You get excited so early.
Yeah.
First year for because it started with the bang also. Like first day only, we got a 150 pickups for the waste from the households, and also I felt that this is it. I'm gonna build a unicorn out of this and all. And then after burning my fingers, making few losses, spending 2,000 rupees on the one pickup where material was 20 rupees worth, I realized this is not going to work. But yeah, till the time you don't experience that,
experiment,
not able to figure that out, right? So then I pivoted from B2C to B2B, and then real recycle as a journey started in 2018-19. Before that, like 2 years, I formed a team of 15-20 people.
Great.
Because since I always say that there was one thing was in our favor, that not knowing what sustainability is, not knowing what waste management is, because everything we started learning from the scratch. There was no baggage. So we were able to look at this problem statement with the very neutral perspective and with the new approach. So we really able to identify the pain points, and we started connecting those dots, and then realized that there are a lot of interesting stuff happening in our country, but everyone is working in their own silos. Nobody's connected to each other. There are a lot of people who are going fantabulous job, but then they are not able to scale that. So all those gaps were identified, and felt that rather than competing with all the stakeholders, country needs a one platform where we can bring all these good innovations, good all the stakeholders on one platform and help them to scale. Because we are looking at the current scenario where we are running out of the time, right? So and if we don't solve this problem now, it is going to be more difficult in the future to solve this problem. So we felt that digital the only thing that which can help to bring everyone on the one platform and scale faster on the nationwide as a nationwide solution. So that was the kind of eureka moment in 2018-19. That's where Recycle born. And then we started getting all the stakeholders on one platform, and then we really started that business.
Sustainability and waste management, but still, because when you do the research or read about it, there's so many, rules or process involved. But how do you see that that implementation of waste management rule in India, and how waste management is done in India mainly, because we hear a lot about it, but from the implementation point of view, what's your
Yeah. So
thoughts?
yeah, I will share some experience. Like when early days, every business starting, we do a lot of research, right? So
Mm,
even I have mentioned that uh, not coming from the background of waste management or sustainability. So the one of the way to learn this domain was doing the research.
mm,
We hit the wall very early because we did not find much data exist in the ecosystem or even on the internet also, because it was all extrapolated data. Some survey done in 2008 or 9, and then
mm,
populated and roaming, going around, right? Not with it was with the government of India as well as even the other platforms as well. So we've realized that there is no data exists. There is
mm,
no. It was more a theoretical thing was available on multiple platforms. That's one of the reason that we decided to get on the ground and get that first-hand experience and understand how the real ecosystem works. uh, on the paper or on the whatever the research documents you have seen, or even the policies or the uh, plastic waste management rule, whatever is there in which launched in 2016. So still it is more theoretical, ground level
yeah.
realities. The stakeholder definitions are not exactly matching with the ground level personas of the stakeholder. There is a little mismatch. uh, but yes, I have seen there is a transition happen, and a good transition happened, or a good change happened when I was doing like 2015, 16, and now when I'm interacting with other stakeholders and all. Waste management ecosystem is matured in the country in last 2 3 years. I still remember when I was going and meeting people on the stakeholders in 2016, 17, there was a lot of negative perception was associated with the waste management. People did never looked at that as an opportunity. So
Definitely. Mm,
uh, that has been changed. When I used to say that we are going to build a digital solution and we are working on it and we're going to implement in the waste management, people used to laugh on us. People used to say,
mhm,
who's going to use the technology in
mm,
the West, right? So that has been changed drastically in the last couple of years. And that is a one of the driver now. See, sustainability or waste management, the problem is all about our mindset.
mm,
You will able to implement all these policies and everything when there is acceptance. So that is a change happening. Government has, or rather, I have seen the major driver was the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. If you
mm.
remember, before that, nobody was talking the waste. Nobody was
Yes.
serious about the waste, right? So we never realized that a government campaign is literally a mind change the perception about the waste, change or people felt the need of it. Before that,
Mm,
it was very
mm,
ignored subject. So that has helped us a lot. Uh, but every day I can tell you that if I have seen, like if I look back for my like 5 6 years of journey now, it is a great level of acceptance. People are taking the waste management seriously, and whatever we being human being happen with the COVID and all, people really understand the you cannot play around with the nature. Like before that, the same people with whom I used to interact with, they used to say it's okay, you're doing something, but they never understood the what is the climate change, why the you cannot play around with the nature, what is the impact, how it can intense. So the COVID also changed the perception, and then that is getting the lot of boost. Also all of a sudden we have heard shared economy, gig economy, and all. But last one
yeah.
year, I started hearing a lot of people or even a government bodies started talking about a circular economy, which is a very positive change happening in the country. So people are noticing that there is a need of the circular economy. So a lot of policy level work is happening. Niti Aayog is very active. interacting with the stakeholders or startups or entrepreneurs, understanding what innovations are happening in the country, and then they are taking those inputs for the making the new policies, which is a good change happening in the country.
And also, I was just reading somewhere you also got to part of World Economic Forum 2022. So if you can, share some of your experience, that how important it is and how it can, basically impacting the recycle as an organization.
So I'll tell you something, like it was always a dream for a recycle team to get that kind of recognition, because we have seen the days where people were not taking us seriously, rejecting us, and that it always has that power of rejection. We always decided to fight back. Even my interactions was all these authorities or bodies, we used to say that the problem in the country is it's a mindset, and
Yes.
people are looking west as a west, not as an opportunity. So in country like India, only two things works, like fear or a great, right? So
Yeah.
we have to do something interesting. If we have to solve this problem, even though people like us, 10 hundreds even recycle, there is an opportunity for all those companies, right? But the thing is, if we have to this solve this problem, we need a new approach or new way of doing these things. So if we show that there is a money available or there is an opportunity, it is not a waste, it is a raw material for someone, and you can build a business out of it. A lot of youth will come into it. The negative perception about this business needs to be changed. You have to show that this is a business, this is not a anymore a CSR kind of thing, not a, so this is for business. So I always say that, and we are very proud to say that we are for profit organization. More business we will do. If tomorrow will become a unicorn, that kind of business we are doing, the end product, the end result is obviously positive environmental impact, right? So we have a everywhere it's a win-win situation. So we wanted to change the perception on the nationwide. We wanted more acceptance to our product and solutions. So we were looking who will understand this psyche or a mindset, because people used to say, "अरे यहाँ पे कचरा है, तुम बस उसका ध्यान रखो." What you're talking about a mobile app? Why you need a mobile app for
Mobile app. Yeah.
But when you once it always happens, it's a human cycle. If somebody external is accepting or appreciating, there is a people start recognizing you. So that happens. Look, we were started interacting with the World Economic Forum and all. We were part of World Economic Forum's first accelerator program. So they have seen our product, they have seen our vision, and they aligned, and it was a great validation for team's effort, time and efforts which we were putting for last 3-4 years got validated by World Economic Forum, and that was a very moral booster for the team also. And that we never looked after that, because we completed accelerator program. We have learned from the experts from on the global platform who are part of World Economic Forum. So that knowledge exchange helped us a lot to get that growth in just few months. And after 6 to 8 months, even the World Economic Forum announced as a tech pioneers for 2022, which is this financial year, right? This year. So that the challenge currently what we have, or people like me have, is talent. Obviously, there is no talent exist because it's a very new domain. So very small pool of talent, and similarly expertise also, because throughout the globe, this is a circular economy, waste management system. It is very new subject. So very few experts are there. So sometimes you have to make those mistakes and learn from your mistakes, and there is no one to help you. I always say that my initially challenge was Ola is Ola today because Uber was there to look at. So Ola never started from zero or a minus. Flipkart is Flipkart today because Amazon was there to look at, right? So they never started from that scratch. But for the recycle, we are the first mover. We definitely have a first mover advantage, but that advantage is sometimes difficult also, because we have to create our own benchmarking. We have to finish that learning curve, which sometimes it's very taxing or very frustrating also, You have to make mistakes, learn from those mistakes. So, but yeah, everything has a pros and cons. So
Yes.
we are experiencing that, and such validations from such a authorities is definitely making our vision more stronger and stronger every day.
Abhishek, so I'll now come little the closer to your that your business, which is Recycle. So you've been talking about the technology app and all this stuff, and you were right that people can't relate the technology and the waste. So how you guys are using technology to revolutionize this waste management ecosystem? What Recycle is doing actually in the market?
Sure. So we are Asia's first circular economy marketplace. So we felt that there are a lot
So
of.
first, sorry to interrupt, Abhishek. So first, what is circular economy? If you can just share the thought.
Sure. So we have seen that we are using the products. I just put it in a layman's language, rather going on very technical to it.
Yeah.
So we are using the products. Products are getting manufactured. If I have to give example of the phone, right? So or your laptop, we are buying a new iPhone or a new Motorola phone, whatever phone we are using, but after the life, we are just discarding it. It has a lot of precious metal exist, right? So to make a new phone, we again doing a mining. We are getting those precious metals out from the natural resources, making the new phone. We are again after the use discarding those phones, right? So this is known as a urban mining as well. So sometimes, or after a few years, we're going to end up with this all the resources, right? And a lot of negative environmental impact also happens in this mining and all those processes. When the material exists, when material is there with you, with certain processes, so it is actually a loop. If you start planning this at the design level, when you're making the phone, when you work on the design and you make sure that, because we are all aware that after a certain time this product is going to be end of use, right? So if we do those design changes and we make sure that this recycling process is going to be more sustainable or more easy, or the process is going to be easy to get this material out from this product once this product is dead. So that kind of design thinking has to be there. So there are steps where you have to do a lot of things at the design level. Then once this product is used and getting reaching to end of life, obviously needs to be recycled. And whatever the after the recycling process, whatever the precious metal is getting extracted in the recycling process, you can use the same material or a precious metal to make the new products. So it's a circular economy using the same product. If you talk about a plastic, the bottle which you have consumed, a Coke bottle which you have consumed, can come back as a bottle for the next drink rather than using the virgin plastic to use to make that bottle, right? So your shampoo bottle is the similar case. So the waste, getting that waste back to the value or using the same waste to make the same similar product back is a circular economy. There is a linear economy like make, use and dispose, and there is a circular economy like you are making sure that similar product is made back from the waste, is a circular economy. I hope I'm clear.
Yeah, yeah, get it because we guys talk a lot about the circular. I just want to audience to understand what the circular economy is all about.
Right.
Now, like you mentioned this, in rapid urbanization, so we're using more and more hardware, and electronic waste. Everyone is aware of it. It's a serious public health, issue or environmental issue in India. What percentage of this e-waste really getting recycled in India? Are we really the company? Are they really following the that process?
Major companies, yeah, there is a percentage. Sorry, I don't have that with me at this moment, but then
Broadly, yeah, we have invest, yeah.
but there is a good change from 2016 onwards, because in 2016 government of India has launched extended producers responsibility. It's a new regulation for e-waste, And in 2018, they introduced for the plastic. Under this regulation, the brands like whatever the electronic brands like Samsung, Apple, all these brands are responsible to make sure whatever products they have sold in the market, end of usage, they have to make sure that it gets recycled. So because of this government, which is a compliance requirement, brands are driving this initiative. And that is one of the trigger in our country, recycling is getting formalized. Before 2016, it was a more informal uh, industry because there was no any intention or any motivation for that formalization. But since it become a compliance, obviously Apple kind of brand cannot work with some recycler who's operating in Dharavi, Mumbai, right? So they have certain their own sustainability metrics, some own compliance requirements. So obviously that become a motivation for this recycling industry in the country, and that's where formalization started. I would like to mention this, like whatever demonetization has done to the fintech industry. After the demonetization, real acceptance of UPI has started. We have seen that, right? Even our vendor is accepting UPI now. So we feel, or we have seen the similar impact into the waste management or a circular economy space. And because of this EPR regulation in the country implemented, recycling formalization has started. And now at least we have some traceability, some visibility that in the country recycling is happening. Doesn't matter it is e-waste, plastic. Recently, government has launched similar regulation for the tires and batteries as well. So that change is there in the country.
Now, I know that we see lots of innovation which is happening in maybe, fintech space or, healthcare space. But do you see this enough innovation is happening in this area as well?
Yes, so I would like to answer this question. It will be like how we are doing it, what kind of product we have, because it is circular economy marketplace is very there is a lot of things involved in this ecosystem. Like, so it's a definitely our product is a marketplace. So what we are doing is we realize that there are a lot of innovations happened. The way you mentioned the e-commerce, fintech, or a food delivery. So a lot of such innovation happened in the country, which was only related to pre-consumer usage or till consumer it was there. You take whatever, if you're buying anything from the e-commerce, you buy a phone, you buy any material, but which packaging material is coming, everything, all the innovation pre-consumer has been done or has seen as a country. We realized there has to be something done for the post-consumer, like whatever the waste is getting generated through e-commerce platforms, retailers, or a food delivery. If you're ordering food also, it is coming into the packaging, it is coming into the plastic packaging. If you're ordering a phone, if you're buying a phone from retails, everything. But what happens once this material is used or products are used, the packaging is used? We felt that there is an opportunity to create a marketplace where we as a country, after China, we are the second biggest country who has a better recycling ecosystem. But the problem is these recyclers are not having the visibility. There is no traceability, no transparency from where they can source the material for the recycling. For these recyclers are nothing but a big factories, and for them, waste is a raw material. But get that material consistent. Obviously, if you are running a plant, you cannot stop the plant if there is no material, right? It's a loss. Exactly. So get that consistent material and good quality material, because it's a raw material. If raw material is contaminated, not good quality, the output is also not going to be good, right? So it was a major challenge in the country that after China, India as a country is second largest nation who's having good recycling ecosystem. But our recyclers who are authorized by Central Pollution Control Board, who has all the proper infrastructure, all the compliance to do this recycling, they are not getting consistent supply because material sourcing or the supply ecosystem was broken, and it was informally driven. It was a cash economy. And this setup is a formal setup. So informal to formal was a big gap. They cannot buy without the GST, and these guys are doing cash payments, which was the biggest gap. So that's where we came into the picture. We understood the pain points of the ecosystem. And we said we got these buyers on the platform, we got the sellers also on the platform, we created this ecosystem. And all these buyers started procuring the raw material, which is a plastic waste, paper waste, metal waste, old laptops, which is IT assets, from our marketplace. They started uh, sharing that what kind of capacities they need month on month, what kind of quality they need. And we started making sure that they get this consistent supply, whatever the location they are operating, with complete traceability, tracking. They know that it is as similar to as your food delivery thing, that you know your food is going to reach what is the estimated time of arrival, like in next 15 minutes. Similarly, they know now how many trucks going to reach to their plant, what is the quality of that material. We have created an ecosystem where we started formalizing these sellers, which is kind of kabadi walas, bigger kabadi walas. Also, we started educating, started improving the quality at the source level and that at this processing level. So now they have assurance. These are the bigger factory setups which needs monthly some 5,000, 6,000 metric tons of this material. They are like, rest assured, there is no worry of quality, no any concerns related to invoicing, taxation, all the visibility is there. So we help the buyers to get the consistent supply, good quality material, as well as we help the sellers who are generally selling this material to nearby bigger trader and not able to fetch better value that material. We open the India as a market. Now, before this seller selling, he compares the pricing. He says that where he can get the best pricing for his material, and he's making his decision on based on that. Also, he's now not worried about the logistic operations and all. Material from Chennai is moving to Surat or Uttarakhand or some other places, because we only take care of all the logistic operations and
Expert.
buyers and seller experience. So our marketplace is a managed marketplace where we take care of the complete experience, complete end-to-end transaction. So everything is happening. There is a technology at every layer. Nothing happens with the technology. So our technology is as similar or as equal or as deep as Amazon's or Flipkart's technology or any e-commerce platform's technology. So everything gets tracked with the technology. Every action happens with the technology. So we have a great level of traceability and transparency. And now this is icing on the cake. What started happening? All the FMCG companies or all the electronic companies who has this EPR mandate, they wanted some credible source to fulfill their obligations under this government regulation. Obviously, if they're spending the money, they wanted to know from where this material is coming, who's recycling, uh, how that material is moving, all that documentation trail and all. So since we were using the technology, we are capturing that data. We started working with all the bigger FMCG and electronic companies and started helping them to achieve all their EPR targets as well. So we did this supply chain disruption and created this complete ecosystem, end-to-end ecosystem. We don't run logistic operations. So we don't have a fleet of trucks. We are working with existing logistics service providers. We are working with existing aggregators, sellers. We are working with existing buyers. So we are not competing with anyone. Rather, we got them on one platform and started helping them to get more business and more visibility. So we are the enablers rather than competing with any stakeholder.
Very interesting and informative, Abhishek. So now, Abhishek, when you started this company, what was your employee size? When you started?
Okay.
When you started this company,
Yeah.
what is your employee size?
When I started, I still remember day one, my co-founder and me, like two of us in
Yeah.
2016,
And
real 2018 when we started, like we are like 20 odd people. While
yeah,
I'm talking to you, it's 325 people.
great. So what's that, I will say formula of that scalability to get the scale in 7 years, which is a very short period of time?
So frankly speaking, initial we literally built brick by brick. Like first 2 years, like 15 people, a very small core group. We started learning everything, but in last 1 year, we moved from 150 to 325 in just less than 6 months, because
Wow.
that's kind of business growth we have achieved. Since the foundation was strong, we were very sure that what we wanted to do. We did a smaller experiments and pilots in certain zones in the country, we started extrapolating that or started replicating those models. Initially spend a lot of times on the processes, people, and product that help us to grow very fast in last 1 year or.
Okay. So Abhishek, so my last question is, what would be your message to the that I will say upcoming entrepreneur who wants to evaluate this space? What would be your message that why they should take this sector as a profitable, as you mentioned, that it can be also turn into good business.
Sure. So initially I said like bigger problem, bigger opportunity. So there cannot be a bigger problem than the waste management or a sustainability. I can see. Second thing is, whatever so far the world has changed in last 2 years. Climate change is now a very serious thing. People started taking it seriously, but we have a very few or very less solutions who can solve the climate change problems or get that sustainability solutions in the place. So there is a it's a big opportunity coming up, and it's a perfect time to start any business which is related to sustainability or a climate change. There are a lot of private equities or VC funds are available in the global market, in our own country, who are looking for such opportunities to invest. We have seen the market is a little not favorable at this moment for the startups and all, but for not definitely for the sustainability and climate change. This is a perfect time to start any business related to climate change or a sustainability. First, second thing, market is huge. There can be even a 10 unicorns in this domain. So you should not be worried about it, that there is going to be a competition and all. Once you hear or once you meet any individual who's working in the waste management, just go back. Maybe it will happen with you now also. You go back, you'll start looking at everywhere a waste. You will find even old phones at your home.
Yeah.
So waste is everywhere. So there is a big opportunity, but less solutions. So that is the second point. And third point is, I always say that to solve this problem, you need a new approach. I always, if you don't have any baggage, don't think that you have to work in the waste management industry for a 10 years and 15 years or in a sustainability domain. And if you don't know domain, you'll not able to build a business. That's not true, because I'm not coming from a sustainability background, not from the waste management.
Obviously, yeah.
I'm able to do it. Rather, I always say that it only worked in my favor because I don't have a baggage. So I was able to look at the problem with the neutral perspective. And I always give an example. I started like 4 to 5 5-star hotels, but I never got an idea of OYO, because I was always having that baggage that hotel needs to be started like this only.
Yeah.
There is a big opportunity, and next 2-3 years are going to be super important, because a lot of things are going to happen. There's a lot of global acceptance for these ESG sustainability solutions. And the bigger problem, bigger opportunity.
Great, Abhishek, and I'm sure that our audience will definitely to get to learn a couple of interesting facts from this conversation. And again, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Arindam.
Yeah.
Happy to
have a good day.
Same
Thank you.
to you.